Okay. So hello everyone. I am Nikhil. Along with me, Mr. Anshul is also there from Study in India. But today we are. It's a very special webinar because second secretary from Councillor section, Mr. Subhash Goyal and Vinod Kumar is also present along with us. So if you have any queries regarding the visa, so they will be able to guide you in the better manner. But before we start with the question and answer round and the visa section part, we'll also start off with some very common things that student has in mind regarding study in India. And we'll start off with that. So first of all, congratulations for making it so far. Many of the students have received admission letters already from one of the top institutions from India. So that's quite an achievement, and we'd like to congratulate all the students who are attending the webinar today. So what topics we'll cover today is first thing we'll cover what are the fee waiver, because still there are a lot of students who are not very clear regarding the tuition fee waivers. So we'll decode what is it exactly, how to decode your admission letter if you are not able to understand that. Then we will also support you regarding how to plan your expenses. What are the certain activities where you will be spending your money, and what is the approximate estimation that you will have to keep in mind for arranging your finances. Next thing is we'll cover do's and don'ts. What are the things before you land in India? What are the things that you need to keep in mind? That and how to prepare yourself best. And then student visa queries will be answered from High Commission of India. Today we have Mr. Subhash Goyal and Mr. Vinod Kumar from Councillor section. So while decoding the tuition fee waiver, we obviously have four different categories. The first is G1, which is 100% tuition fee waiver. Second is 50%, and then G3 is 25%. G4 is the no tuition fee waiver. So a lot of students are confused between these terms. So I'm just giving the example of G1. For example, if you get tuition fee concession, which is G1, that is 100%, and your tuition fee is, for example, here $200, $2,000, then that completely tuition fee will be waived off. But then in that case, you will have to accommodate for hostel and mess charges. So your food and your accommodation, that will come around $1,500. So anyway, most of the colleges have clearly denoted what exactly is the fee structure for from their end, and you need to read your document very carefully for that. So this is just rough estimate of how much you will be spending on areas such as accommodation, your food and housekeeping, personal expenses, your stationery expenses, your laundry. So of course, this is so it will depend from student to student, because if you are getting the SII scholarship, in that case you will not have to spend for accommodation and food. So for example, in this considering this into context, you will be not spending $250. So your approximate cost of staying in India will be $100 to $150. So of course, this cost varies from city to city. So for example, if you are in metropolitan cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, then the expenditure will be much more. If you are into other cities, that expenditure will be very less as compared to this. So it varies from city to city where you're staying, where your college is located, and it also depends on your lifestyle. So this is just a temporary figure that we keep on telling students that this is something, if they prepare themselves financially, then it will be very safe. So certain do's and don'ts, because now that you have received the admission letter from your allocated institution, uh, we recommend that you start for passport and visa process immediately. So there are students who have not even have passport as of now, and they're applying right now. So I would like to tell you that most of you are already very late, because offline, considering the current situation, we are expecting that offline classes will be starting from next month onwards, and for some of them they have already started from this month end. So if you do not have passport, that's a big no. You should immediately start for passport right away. And for visa process, get in touch with your institution, check for what is the joining date for offline classes for your particular institution, and then you have to at least start your visa process 1 month prior to landing to India. So for example, if your institution is telling you that by October end your classes are starting, then from 1st October onwards you'll have to start your visa process, otherwise it will be very late. uh, Also, you need to communicate with your fellow students from your countries. That is very helpful. So a lot of areas that you can discover where this communication could help. One of the example that I would like to tell you is, maybe if you have 20-30 groups of students, you can join in together. You can also talk with airlines for if they can give certain discounts to you. If you want any study India assistance regarding that, we can also assist you for getting certain discount. So if you are booking in bulk, then airlines will be very interested to give some discount on your flight tickets. uh, but you have to come in big group. So for getting communicated, we already have WhatsApp group of Kenyan students. uh, Apart from WhatsApp group, we also have Facebook community, from where you can connect with fellow students who are also from Kenya, and that will be, I think, very helpful for you. Next thing is, you need to check all the COVID restrictions, because every state in India has a different COVID guideline, and you will need to check whether there are certain restrictions while you're traveling from Kenya to India. You need to check that. For this purpose, it is best to contact your spokesperson from your allocated institution. And if you are struggling to get in touch with institution, please inform us. If you are not able to find whom to contact, in most of the cases, the spokesperson name and contact number and email address will be mentioned on your offer letter. If you are not able to find that, and also even on the your student admin portal as well, you will be able to see the spokesperson. Next thing is, while you're coming to India, please note that you will have to carry all the original documents along with you. This could include your travel documents like your passport, your visa, your national ID proof, etc. If you're done with your vaccination, you also need to keep that vaccination certificate with you as well. Uh, you'll also need to carry all the education documents like your KCSE, KCP certificates, your high school or degree certificates. You need to keep them original certificate with you. If you have any work experience, that certification you'll also need to carry with you. One of the advice that we like to give in this regard is, many times you will might lose these documents, you will might misplace them, and to avoid this, it's best to keep this on a cloud backup like Google Drive or Microsoft Drive. You can keep them there so that this are in backup and you will never lose them. Also, while coming to India, make a very comprehensive packing list. So this packing list could contain everything, right from your documentation, your medications, if you have any disease, your clothing, your toiletries, electronic devices, etc. Also, you need to check in what is the exactly weight limit for your flight. So pack your luggage accordingly and keep that in mind. Especially while you're packing, you need to consider the climate of your city. So for example, if your college is located in north, so winter in India is extremely cold, so you need to prepare for that as well. And if you're according to the climate condition, you have to keep certain things in mind. So in some of the courses like law and MBA, right clothing is very important. You need to dress formally. So you have to uh, count that in as well. So once you come in India, you're very much welcome to experience India. So to experience India, it's obviously one thing that you can do while you're studying, and you want to do that through trying new foods, you have to visit new places, try to learn about India as much as possible, and your education journey will be very interesting. Keep busy, keep volunteering for all the activities which are happening around your college, around your course, and keep very busy yourself, especially when you're landing to India. It will be very overwhelming for you. You'll be new to everything. There will be students from different geographies or from all across the globe as your classmates, and that will be very exciting thing, and you'll be able to learn a lot. So keep busy when you land in India and you start your course. Learn English. Some of the students will might not be very fluent in English, so try to learn English in the timeline that is available right now. And you can also start practicing learning basic Hindi phrases. Uh, Please only coordinate with SI officials and institution directly. Don't coordinate with any unauthorized person apart from official institutions or High Commission of India. Some of the don'ts that you should strictly avoid: do not arrive in India unannounced. So we had situation in the past where a student did not tell the institution about their arrival and they directly landed to India. That was a that could be a very big nightmare, because institution will might not be able to find you. They might not be intimidated before, and especially considering the current situation of COVID, the state restriction and everything, it is best that you inform your institution and then only tell you can arrange your travel accordingly. You will need to, if you want to save the cost, it is best that you avoid last moment travel making arrangement, because if you for example, if you book the tickets at last moment, it will be very costly for you, plus getting the visa at right time will be tricky. So it's best to avoid last minute arrangement and keep yourselves certain timelines in hand. While you're traveling, don't keep your belongings anywhere. So that is very basic. Do not also consume the food from any other co-passenger. Do not share your personal credential or Study India ID with anyone, and keep following the communication. Do not miss any deadlines or communication communicated to you by Study in India or your particular institution. And of course, for a lot of students, the online classes will start if they haven't started already. So do not miss them, because attendance is mandatory, especially for the students who have received the scholarship. Attendance is mandatory. If you're getting less attendance, lesser than 75%, then your scholarship could be in danger. So I think, sir, I will like to stop here and I will just play the slides from your end on for the visa section.
Okay.
So I'm again sharing the screen, and I will start from visa presentation.
Good evening, Mr. Nikhil and Mr. Anshul.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm Subhash, the counselor from High Commission of India. First of all, I would like to thank you, for giving us the opportunity to interact with the students and brief them about the visa procedures. I've seen your presentation, and I think with if it's a presentation was going through, I'll just brief them. And at the end of the presentation, I would request students to come up with their queries and questions, and we'll be happy to answer them. Can I start without the presentation being shown?
You can start, but let me try sharing the presentation. If you want to share the presentation, then let me connect. Just give me 1 minute. I will be able to share.
Yeah, please just check.
Sir, I think you are able to see the screen now, right? Sir, can you please unmute?
Yes, we can see it now. Yeah.
Okay. So you can start. Let me know when to change the slide and I will do it.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Nikhil.
Thank you.
So, welcome all the students. In this current year, till now we have received 543 applications from Kenyan students who are interested to study in India. So I am sure that they most will be coming to High Commission for the visas. So just to make it easy for them to apply and what all documents they should check and how to book an appointment, this presentation will assist them in this regard. So in our presentation we'll be discussing about the procedure to avail the student visa from High Commission of India. Can you please change the slide? Yeah. So once you are sure that you are joining, then the next next step is to book an appointment. Fill your application, visa application. This visa application can be filled in two links. These links are shared. One is indianvisaonline.gov.in/visa/registration, or you can directly go to the website of High Commission of India in Kenya. In that High Commission website, you can go to the council services, then further to visa services, then online visa forms, and then you can click on regular or paper visa. So in this case, it will be regular and paper visa. Don't fill for e-visa. Once you fill this, then you'll be self-guided to the very process where you'll put in your details. And after all the details have been filled, you have to submit your visa application. Once it is successfully submitted, then you have to take a print of it. And once you take the print, please check that the application number should start with KENNV0. So that is the visa application number you'll get, and then there is some other numbers also. So once you have got a hard copy of your visa application form, then you please paste your photograph in the size 51 by 51 mm at a designated place and put your signature as the designated places. Once that is done, then you have to just see there are certain errors which students do while filling the application, and when they finally come to the counter, they've been told to rectify those errors, and which consume a lot of unnecessary time. So just the things which can be avoided are like they should check thoroughly their name, their passport number, their education qualification, their addresses should be complete, their telephone number, their email IDs, and it should be correct also. And the photograph which they paste should be 51 by 51 mm with preferably a white background, and it should be a latest photograph. And the face should be covering the 70% of the photograph. These small things, if they take care, then this unnecessary going back to the council, to the High Commission will be avoided. And once this is done, next comes, please change the slide. Nikhil, kindly change the slide. Yeah. This we've covered. Next, please. Yeah, now we'll come to the documents. The documents which are required when you come for the visa interview, the list is this, that the admission letter, from the college of the university where the student is applying, they should send that admission letter to on this email ID, that is visa.nairobi@me.gov.in. So please ensure that before you come for visa interview, you have requested your college, institute, university, that they should send the invitation letter which they have given to you also should come to us, to the High Commission on this this email ID. Then your educational documents, they should be all in English. If it is in some other language, and the translation or the original document, they should be attested by the Ministry of Education. Further, which will be attested by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Kenya. Then is the bank statement, of the sponsor. In case like if it's your parents who is sponsoring, or in case somebody else is sponsoring, that should be done. In case somebody else is sponsoring, the bank is sponsoring, so that sponsorship letter is required in original. In case a company is sponsoring the student, then the bank statement of the company along with the competent seal and signature of the company is required. Next slide, please. Yes, though it is not part of this presentation, but still, in case any Somali students are there, beside the requirement I've already mentioned, there is a requirement of security vetting by the CID/NISA regarding the good conduct of the applicant, and that is also required to be sent to the visa.nairobi@me.gov.in email. And they should also, while they're planning, they should also take polio vaccine well in advance, maybe around 28 days in advance. And they should also get themselves vaccinated for the yellow fever vaccine, which should be done preferably 10 days prior to their departure to India. These are two mandatory requirements, and they should carry the certificates of both polio vaccination and yellow fever along with them while they're traveling to India. And now, once you have successfully filled the visa application online, you've taken the print, you've checked all the documents are there in order, your photographs are there, you've signed, then you have to book an appointment for visa in the High Commission of India. For that, you can go to our website, that is hci.nairobi.gov.in/get-appointment. And when you open that website, you get straightway taken to the page where you can get appointment, book an appointment, or straightway you can open our website at hci.nairobi.gov.in. On the first page, below the photograph of our Honorable High Commissioner, there is a icon for book an appointment. You can click on that, and that will guide you to schedule your appointment. Usually, because of the rush and the number of slots, it is recommended that you should book your appointment well in advance. Our window for booking appointment is open for 1 month, so you can book your appointment 1 month in advance, so that you don't rush, you don't get into trouble unnecessarily. Next slide, please. Yeah, these are the student visas. We have got 6 categories of student visa. But mostly, I think in the context of Kenya, I think the first one, the S1 type visa for higher studies, that is graduation or post-graduation. In case if you are applying for higher secondary or 12th grade or equivalent, then you have to apply under S2 visa category. S3 and S4, these are basically for students who want to study yoga, Vedic culture, Indian system of dance, music, theological studies. Then is S5. In case any student who is going for PhD, he is to apply under S5 category. Then S6 visa is for internship. Students should check for which particular category they are going, because this can also be one of the kind of rejection for the visa form, because student may fill in some other category of visa category instead of their right category. So they should be careful while applying in which category. Next slide, please. Yeah, just before I say thank you, I would like to elaborate about a few more points. One is, in case anybody is applying for medical or paramedical courses, in that case, approval / no objection certificate from Ministry of Health India is mandatory. So in case you're going for a medical, MBBS studies or higher studies, in that case, NOC is required from the Ministry of Health, Government of India. And in case of the PhD students, the students are required to produce original letter of admission from the institute, and email or photocopy admission letter will not be accepted in this case. And along with this, when they come for visa interview, they should also carry a copy of their thesis or topic of subject of research, which should be furnished, to the High Commission at the time of interview. And the educational institutes here should also inform the students as to whether the said education institution falls within the protected area permit or restricted area permit. There are certain areas in India where a foreign national has to take permission before going. So say suppose if your college is in Jammu and Kashmir or in northeast regions, then you have to take approval. In case of which we fall under this RAP and PP areas, the education institute concerned shall advise the foreign student to obtain a RAP and a PAP approval from the mission while they are applying for student visa. So in that case, they should apprise the High Commission of India that they are going to a RAP or PAP area where the college is. In that case, we will give them RAP or PAP permission. And after the student has landed in India, after all the visa they have got, they have traveled to India, they have landed in India, the students are required to go and meet the FFRO within 14 days of their arrival in India, and they must register themselves with the FFRO. And students should also open an NRO account, non-resident ordinary account in India, and such details of that account should be also furnished to FFRO or FROs during their registration and visa extension as a proof of their financial sustenance. Mission issues multiple entry visa in case the students has got duration of the course is more, but the number of entries per academic year is restricted to 3, and that will be endorsed in there while we are giving them sticker visa. So the student are recommended that they should travel only when it is mandatory or it is it cannot be avoided, so that the quota of 3 entries are not exhausted and they are necessary travel for them. Normally the visa which we issue is for 3 years duration or study duration of the course. So whichever is less, we issue for that period. And students, student can extend their visa from the concerned FRO in India when they are there, along with production of their bona fide documents, certificates from the college and institutes. For provisional admissions, visa shall be issued for a maximum period of 6 months with single entry from High Commission, which can be extended further from the concerned FROs and FROs. Besides this, I would like to mention that usually the students, when they come for visa interview, they come with a letter of the institute in which they are told to join the course, say on 16th of August, September. The course starting 16th September or ending on this date, and usually they come after that date. So when it becomes obsolete, then it will be very difficult for the High Commission to judge whether the student is the course is still going on or not. So it is advised that they should approach their institute to write to High Commission on visa.nairobi.me.gov.in and giving a window in which you can join the course, so that it doesn't become difficult for you to get the visa. So here my presentation ends. Now we are open to take questions from the students if there is any. Thank you.
Sir, thanks a lot for giving us this presentation. I'm sure that a lot of students had already most of their queries resolved in this presentation, because a lot of topics were covered in the presentation. So right now we will just start off with the question and answer round, and students who have queries, they can click on raise hand button, and we'll be unmuting students one by one so that they can ask their query and we can start off. So sir, before we begin, there are a couple of questions that we have come across regarding visa. One of this question was regarding this letter of admission being sent to visa.nairobi. Sir, just wanted to know, is it a mandatory thing? Because we have also shared the list of students who have received the admission. So will that suffice, or it is mandatory for college also to send the list?
In the present circumstance, it is mandatory for the institute or college to send it on visa.nairobi at me.gov.in. This, when they are sending it to the student, they should also send a copy to us also from their registered or official email ID. But we see that at times the college and institutes, they send the invitation letter from Gmail accounts or Yahoo accounts. So it becomes difficult for us to verify. They should send from their registered email, which is the account which is available on their website also, so that we can cross check that. Mr. Nikhil.
Okay, sir. So I will just unmute first student.
Yeah.
There is Devin. Devin, I have unmuted you. You can ask your question. Devin Oyango.
Okay. So my question is, there's a time my start date, according to the letter, was supposed to be 15th September, and I visited the consulate before, but they asked for additional documents, which I don't have at now. Do I need to fill in another visa form, or I can still bring the first visa form that I had filled?
Thank you, Ms. Devin. You can come with the existing visa form. You don't need to fill another form. You can come with that. Within 3 months of your filling that visa application form, it is valid. You can come again to the Visit High Commission on the same visa application. You don't need to print again. You don't need to refill the visa application again.
Okay. Okay, and another question.
Yes.
Some of our parents don't use bank accounts. Most of them transact using the mobile money. Do we need an actual bank statement, or we can bring the M-Pesa statements?
Ms. Devin, you can bring M-Pesa statement also. We accept M-Pesa statement also.
Okay, thank you.
In case, I would like to add also, in case any bank is sponsoring or any other institute is sponsoring, we accept that letter also of sponsorship.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Devin.
So next student we have is Prince 10.
Okay, thank you, sir, for this opportunity. My query was concerning the documents to be attested by the Ministry of Education. Is it supposed to be Ministry of Education only, or also Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
See, Mr. Prince.
Yes.
For us, for the High Commission of India, the nodal agency is Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kenya. We don't have any means to authenticate the signature done by Ministry of Education. So that is why we request that once the documents have been attested by the Ministry of Education that these are authentic, then this Ministry of Foreign Affairs authenticate the signature of Ministry of Education. So that is why it is the requirement.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and this will be also useful to you in India also when you're in India, because when the High Commission has authenticated your documents, you'll not face any issue.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Next student we have is Mercy Ithoka. Mercy, you have been unmuted. Mercy, are you there? We are not able to hear you. Okay, so I am muting you. Mr. Vimal Harsha, I'm unmuting you. Mr. Vimal? Okay, we'll move on. Then next student is Devin. Stanley Ortino.
Hello,
Stanley.
can you hear me?
Stanley, there is some different.
Can you hear me?
There is a cracking sound, Mr. Devin. You can't
Is
hear me
that?
clearly.
You can't hear me clearly.
There's a lot of disturbance.
Just a minute, just a minute. Hello,
Stanley, we are not able to hear you.
okay, let me just.
Stanley, please type in your question in chat window. We'll take it from there. One of the student is asking, is medical insurance covered under Study India scholarship? So Study India scholarship does not cover medical insurance. So Mercy was asking this question. So we just want to make it clear that Study India scholarship only covers your food, your accommodation, which is hostel, plus your tuition fee. It does not cover your medical insurance. But we recommend that student needs to get medical insurance because for the emergency purpose, it's always better to have that.
Yes.
Next student we have is Wendy Andu. Wendy, please ask your question.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. I would like to know how much money does the sponsor must have on their bank statement?
Ms. Wendy, can you please come again? I couldn't hear your question properly.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
So I would like to know how much money does the sponsor must have on the bank statement to show to the Indian High Commission while applying for the visa?
Invariably we request that there should be at minimum 3,000 to 4,000 US dollar balance in your account while you're coming for visa interview.
Okay, 3,000 to 4,000
4,000 US dollars, depending on the the kind of scholarship you've got. If you got 100% scholarship, then it can be less also. But in case like it's fully sponsored by yourself, self-sponsoring basis, then the minimum should be around 3,000 to 4,000 US dollars. But this varies, from condition to condition. We just look at this is not only criteria. We look at everything like how much scholarship you've got, what is your parents doing, or who's sponsoring it, what he's doing. So there are so many criteria to it, but ideally there should be minimum 3,000 to 4,000 US dollars in the bank balance.
Okay, and even if a student got 100% SII scholarship, like me, okay, does that mean I need to show bank statement as well and bank guarantee or certificate, even if
Yes.
I got SII scholarship?
Yeah, Miss Wendy, even if you got 100% scholarship, that does not cover your other miscellaneous expenses. When you are in India, so just to check how we'll be meeting those expenses. That is why we request for a bank statement. And the balance in that can be varied. That is not required to be 3,000 US dollars. It can be less than that also. And then our visa officer at the counter, he will just check and take a decision on that. But that is not mandated in that. If you got 100% scholarship, then balance in the bank can be less also. It need not be 3,000 or 4,000 US dollars. It can be 1,000 US dollars also.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Before we take up the other question, I saw a question from some student who was asking that can he apply for visa at our acting assistant high commission in Mombasa. So you can very well apply in Mombasa also for your visas. Yeah, next question, please.
Yes, sir. Next student is Ian. Ian, please ask your question.
Hello, my name is Ian. Okay, my question is about the documents that need to be verified. Can you kindly tell us the list of all the documents that need to be verified?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ms. Ian, the documents which you need to verify is your educational documents from
Yes.
Kenya that will be attested by the Ministry of Education and further by Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and
Yes.
the invitation letter, invitation letter from India, from college, that should come to the High Commission from their registered email on their website to the visa.nairobi@me.gov.in. That's the email ID of our High Commission.
Okay. Okay. No, what about the things like the birth certificate and national ID, and the passport?
No, that need not to be verified. No. Only your education documents of
Yes.
Kenya need to be attested. You just bring your original national ID, you bring your original passport, that need not to be verified.
Okay, thank you.
Your birth certificate need not to be verified. You just bring your original birth certificate. That is okay, enough.
Okay, thank you.
The next question, please.
Yes, Prince 10. I think he's already done. Deepika Nahar.
How do I mute here? Hello.
Yeah, Deepika.
Yeah,
Go
hi,
on.
this is Deepika. This question is on behalf of one SII student. He's asking me which choice, what he has to choose in visa application. What choice he should choose in visa application. So I actually missed the slide, the presentation. So basically, this is an SII student. So what will he choose? Which category of visa he'll choose?
Yeah, Ms. Deepika.
Yeah.
There are 6 categories of visa. When he's applying for visa application, at the time there's 6 categories. So
Yeah.
I'll read out again for you. The S1 category is for higher studies, that is graduation and post-graduation
Yes.
courses.
Yes.
And S2 category is for schools up to 12th grade.
Okay.
And S3 and S4 are for studying of yoga, Vedic culture, Indian system of dance, music, theological studies. And S5
Yes.
is for PhD.
Yes.
And S6 category is for internship. So we've got 6 categories.
So SII student will go first, the 6th category?
They'll go for whatever, first, second, whatever it is. First also, if he's going for a graduate course, then he'll go right for S1. If he's going for PG also, then also S1. And in case he's going for S5, PhD, then it is, S5 if he is for PhD.
Okay. So thank you. I think my student can either, he should select either S1 or S5.
S1, yeah.
Deepika,
Yes.
you're from which college?
Sir, I'm from Jain University.
Okay. So for PhD, I think S5 is there. Otherwise, most of the cases, it will be S1.
Okay, sir.
Correct.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Next question, please.
I think, sir, most of the questions are answered. So one of the student is asking in the chat window, do we need the original birth certificate when you already have an ID?
It is not mandatory. It is not mandatory to carry original birth certificate.
Okay.
Because the date of birth is already endorsed in the passport also.
Okay, sir.
I have another question.
Who is this?
It's Davin.
Davin. Yeah, go on, Davin.
So what about the requirement of the consent letter from parents? Is it mandatory?
In case the student is below 18 years of age,
Okay.
then the consent letter is a requirement. But once the student is an adult above 18 years of age, then consent letter is not required. But it is not mandatory. It is one of the requirements for student below 18 years of age.
Okay, next. Student, we are just searching. Indira ma'am, I'm unmuting you. Yes, ma'am.
So,
I have unmuted you.
good
Please
afternoon,
ask.
everyone. This 2020 admission, we have a full scholarship student in MSc Physics, that is Richard Nijiri. So we have sent for his coming over here. I hope it will be made through.
Is there any issue for this student, ma'am?
Actually, he wanted to come some 6 months back, but he was not permitted.
Madam, can you send this whole case to us on our email so we can examine and we'll revert back to you? Because right now, what was the reason for denying? It will not be readily available with me.
Okay, fine. I will send applications for 2 students so that you can process them.
Which university are you talking about?
C.V. Raman Global University, Bhubaneswar.
Okay. And they were studying MSc Physics, if I'm not wrong.
One studies MSc Physics and one more student is MTech Electrical Engineering, and they are currently in their second years. That means whole first year they were in the country itself, Kenya.
So, do you know the reason for denying the visa?
It was maybe students conveyed that it was said that you cannot go right now to India.
That was during the lockdown.
Maybe
Maybe
6
that may
months
be
back.
you know, in India, I think in March to May, we were suffering from the second wave of COVID, you know.
Exactly.
That may be the reason, but we need to, so madam, what I'll request you is please send us an email with giving all the details so that we can examine why the visa was denied.
Okay.
And we'll freshly again examine the case.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I can see a question from Mr. Devin that the most of school they are sending, you know, a comprehensive list, a combined list for all the students. So what I request is that, you know, the college should send individual application, individual request separately, not in a bunch. I know, because that should it will be having admission letter for each of the student.
Okay.
So the
Okay,
admission
sir.
letter for each individual should be sent separately.
Okay, sir. Noted, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
We'll take couple of last questions before we wind down. So, Edek SU.
Hello.
Yeah, Ade, you have any question?
Thank you very much. I was just asking because the slide went so fast and it's tough to remember all that. So I was asking if he can leave it out or send it by email that we may review it and follow the steps well.
Your voice is not very clear. Can you repeat the question?
I'm asking if he can send the slides or the information about how we should go about the visa on email.
Yes, this presentation.
Sure.
Yeah.
You will get the we'll get the recording of this entire session, and you can just go back to the slide and you can refer that. So no issues about that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And
Here also, I would like to tell the student that you can visit the website of High Commission of India, that is hcinairobi.gov.in, and once you go there in visa section, there is detailed, you know, report about how to fill a visa application for students and others all category also. So the most of the questions which we answered here and the presentation we given has been taken from the website only. So all the details are available there. You can go through that. In case you still feel any issues are there, you can always write us an email on visa.nairobi.gov.in and we shall be happy to respond to you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So one of the student is asking whether booking the flight ticket prior to applying to visa is compulsory or not.
No, it is not compulsory. We would request them that first they should get the visa, and after that only they should book a flight ticket.
Okay.
Yeah, one student, can I see the name first of all? So, yeah. Mr. Muo has asked whether he's booked an appointment, but before he could take the print of appointment, the power was there and he could not retrieve it. So in this case, I would like to tell that if you don't know the date and time of your visa interview, please come on that date and time, because we have that all record and will allow you entry inside the High Commission for visa interview.
Sir, I think most of the questions we have already covered now. So
yeah, if anybody is there, any of the question is there, we are ready. Parents.
I think most of the questions are covered. Sir, is there any helpline number or someone to contact in the embassy if they have any questions? Is there any facility like that?
They can visit our website, High Commission of India website, that is hcinairobi.gov.in. On that, the helpline numbers and everything is there.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, but what I will recommend is, because that helpline is general in nature, so to be specific, questions related to visa queries, they should write to us on our email ID. That is visa.nairobi@mea.gov.in. If they write on that, we will respond to them.
Okay. So, sir, before we close down, just want to thank you again, sir, for attending this session and solving a lot of queries of all the students. So I think it was very helpful for the student as well as the colleges from who are getting the students from Kenya this year. And we'll be sending the recording to student as well as colleges of entire session so that they can refer to that. Thanks a lot, sir, for attending this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nikhil, and thank you, Mr. Anshul, for giving us the opportunity to interact with the students and brief them about the visa process. I think this presentation must have been helpful to them, and they'll not face many issues now. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.